Jeff Semple's on this story for us, live in the part of London where Mohammed Emwazi used to live. What can you tell us about Mohammed Emwazi?
Well, Rashmi, this, in fact, is believed to be the very street where the man formerly known as Jihadi John grew up. As you can see just over my left shoulder, some police officers have been stationed here, lots of media cameras over my right, and plenty of horrified neighbors here too, as you can imagine. After the masked militant was publicly unmasked for the first time this morning, identified in media reports published by the BBC and the Washington Post, citing a number of friends and contacts who say that they are all but certain that that masked militant is a man named Mohammed Emwazi, believed to be in his mid-20s. He was born in Kuwait, but as I say, he grew up right here in this middle-class neighborhood in West London, it's believed. And people who knew him here say that he was a devout Muslim and extremely polite, that he was very well dressed, and that in fact he graduated in 2009 from the University of Westminster with a degree in computer science. And in fact, that university has just released a statement not long ago saying they are shocked and sickened by the news that one of their former students may have gone on to become an ISIS spokesperson, Reshmi.
And so what's being said about him now, Jeff?
Well, we're hearing that suspicions were first raised as recently as 2009. At that time, Emwazi, it's reported, tried to travel from London to Tanzania on what he said was a safari vacation. But when he arrived, he was stopped and detained by authorities there, sent back here to Europe, where he was questioned by British intelligence officials who reportedly suspected that he was in fact trying to head to Somalia to join the militant group Al-Shabaab. Now, Emwazi denied this, according to his friends, and was outraged by the harassment that he felt he received. And before long, he was planning to move back to Kuwait, to his birthplace, where he said he'd arranged to be married and had a job lined up. But British authorities reportedly refused to allow him to leave, saying that he was on a terror watch list. Now, all the while, Emwazi was communicating with a human rights group based here in London, and they, in fact, held a news conference just a short time ago. Have a listen.
When are we going to finally learn that when we treat people as if they're outsiders, they will inevitably feel like outsiders and they will look for belonging elsewhere? Our entire national security strategy for the last 13 years has only increased alienation, has only increased people feeling like they don't belong. Why? Because a narrative of injustice has taken root.
So the human rights workers arguing there, in effect, that it was the harassment and racial profiling that Emwazi faced that eventually drove him, they believe, to this path of violence. Certainly security officials, you can bet, would refute those claims. What we do know is that a couple of years ago, Emwazi traveled somehow to Syria and eventually joined the ranks of ISIS. It's not known whether he's still there now, Rashmi, but that is one of many questions facing both security officials and people here in West London, as you can imagine.